how do you want to spend your time, your most precious asset? That is critical, mission critical. The absence of work is not retirement. That's just the absence of work. Welcome to the Retire on Time podcast. I'm Mike Decker here with David Franson. We're going to be answering your questions about retirement. This is all about the nitty gritty, not the oversimplified advice you've heard hundreds of times. As always, you can text them to 913-363-1234. But remember, this is just a show. It's not financial advice for you specifically. Keep doing your research. All right, David, let's dive in.
Hey, Mike, can you walk through your planning process order and why you believe it needs to be that way? I'm a dividend investor and I'm building my plan around my portfolio, which you say is not the right way to go about it.
So it's not that your portfolio is wrong. It's that it may be limiting towards your overall lifestyle abilities in retirement.
Okay.
So you know how a square is a rectangle, but rectangles are not always squares?
Oh,
You might have the right plan. You might have the right portfolio, but it's either going to be a conclusion. It's like, oh, well, it happened to end up this place. Or it's like, oh, I maybe should make some adjustments. Here's why the order I have is as such. Now, this is not the full retire on time planning list. That's very long and a lot of detail there. But this is the general, what I think this person's asking question.
okay.
Okay. So the first thing you need to establish is really your lifestyle goals, not your legacy goals, your lifestyle. You're alive now, your legacy is later.
Okay.
How do you want to live your life? If you hate your job, maybe your life looks like not working at that job. If you don't like your job, but you enjoy work, maybe retirement for you isn't necessarily not working because you can't define something by the absence of. Maybe it's just getting the job that you really wanted, but didn't pay the income that you wanted. So, for example, I know someone that worked at Microsoft for many, many years. When they retired, they worked as a park ranger.
Oh,
Now, the incomes of the two are very different.
sure. I can imagine.
And they had a great time at Microsoft. Microsoft was a wonderful company. Their experience was fantastic. I'm not criticizing Microsoft, but they are a cutthroat company. You know, they have a culture of great work ethic. Park rangers, just a different vibe.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So
So-
this person wanted to be in park ranger and eventually they were able to get there.
And so you need to define, how do you want to spend your time, your most precious asset, right? That is critical, mission critical. And it's not about busying yourself. So when I talked about the absence of work is not retirement, that's just the absence of work. Because if you retire and then you do nothing, you're going to busy yourself with house projects. Maybe you'll take a couple of trips. Maybe you'll adopt your grandkids as the free babysitter.
Oh, yeah.
Now you're creating all sorts of situations that you get stuck in, and you're not receiving that fulfillment. You know, it's funny we would say, you got to retire with purpose. That's an existential crisis kind of conversation. No, you don't need to have purpose. I think that it's good to have purpose in life, but it's not like you're going to retire and become, I don't know, a pilgrim for some random tribe in the Galapagos. There's no one on the Galapagos Islands.
That's just really
In
big
Papua New
heads.
Guinea or something, some
Yeah.
place out yonder.
Okay.
That's not what retirement really is. Retirement is that you're redefining how you're going to spend your time, but you need to be very careful about how you're spending your time and if you're going to have the sense of purpose. Notice the difference. Sense of purpose is different than purpose. Your purpose is to live your life, whatever that means. The sense of purpose, as I define it, and I'm going down a rabbit hole here, is the ability to have healthy levels of dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin. Those are all happiness and fulfillment drugs your body produces, okay? If you don't have healthy, constant flows of those three, basically endorphins or chemicals your body produces, your retirement's going to suck. You're going to feel sad, lonely, and depressed. And you know what happens when you feel sad, lonely, and depressed, or bored, or whatever?
Cognitive decline, early
Cognitive decline, physical decline, you speed up your date of death.
death.
You regret retirement.
So
So you
you
don't,
might go back to work. You might end up back at work.
yeah,
Yeah. And maybe
And-
at a place you don't want to be.
or lesser job, lesser position, less challenge.
Uh,
So you don't want to retire and then try to figure this out. You want to, as you prepare to retire, that's why the book that's coming out soon, How to Prepare to Retire on Time,
Ooh, nice plug.
talks about,
Yeah.
shameless, talks about the purpose portfolio is what I call it. Now, let's use golf as an example.
All right.
Okay. A lot of people, stereotypically guys, want to golf when they retire. And what typically happens is one of two things. One is they actually want to get better at the sport. They're critically engaged in the sport, the chipping, the technique. They're hiring a golf pro. They're learning about it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they get 2 or 3 strokes off their game, that might be a lot. I'm a casual golfer. I don't know. I like to go out there, but I'm not like trying really hard right now. But is 2 or 3 strokes? I don't know. If that's a lot off your game? Let's assume that's a normal thing that you
Asking the
can
wrong
do.
guy.
Let's assume you're a terrible golfer.
That's me. Okay.
Okay. And now you got 2 or 3 strokes off your game. That's maybe more reasonable.
Oh yeah.
So
Good improvement.
you'd feel good about that, right?
Oh, huge.
You're going to get a healthy amount of dopamine. You're out there with people, so there's oxytocin, the connection. Okay, that's how you structure it to be fulfilling. Now, let's say you go out there and you just get drunk. You just hit a ball, you get drunk, you get pissed that you're not hitting it well, whatever it is. Okay, you're not trying to improve your game, you're just wasting time. In that situation, golf's probably a horrible idea for your retirement. So do you see the difference?
Mm-hmm.
Any activity, whether you want to retire and you want to be involved with church or quilting or learning a new skill set or volunteering at a charity or whatever it is, all of those activities can be done in a healthy way or in a not so healthy way. And what's interesting about this is if you don't do it in a healthy way, okay, and you have the absence of dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin, that absence, you're going to want to get a larger hit from it.
Okay.
So you want spikes of all of these chemicals if you can manipulate it. And that creates a problem to where then you're now opening the door for addiction.
Oh.
And so now you've entered into retirement healthy. There was an absence of fulfillment of these endorphins from a healthy level. And so what do? You try to correct it and you get heightened levels of it. And now you've created this feast or famine situation in retirement, and it just derails everything. And you end up like an addict, a behavioral addict, searching for fulfillment, and you're spending more money than you might want to. You're ending up more depressed than you probably thought you would, and you regret the whole decision entirely. So until you, and I'm being a bit verbose here, until you actually figure out how you want to spend your time in retirement, I don't think you can retire. And I don't think we can do an appropriate plan until you know what that is.
Even if you had all the income solved, you still shouldn't retire if you don't have the other part.
That's the question. What's the income that you need? What if your income in retirement needs to increase to live the life that you want? What if it decreases? And if it decreases, could you retire earlier than you wanted to? You can't know that unless you define your lifestyle.
So that's the order then. That's the first priority.
So this dividend investor, okay, they got dividends. Great. Are you going to force your life around the dividend income stream that you want? Or are there going to be seasons of your retirement, seasons of different, when I say missions of you're going to learn this hobby or you're going to do this activity, and maybe there's a season of aggressive engagement, and then there's a slower. How does all of that look? Because this dividend bit right here is just a stream of income, and you've got to force it to work. Well, what if some of the dividends you kept, others you sold, and then you had an increase? Your go-go years, as many of it call, I say your travel years, your casual years.
Mm-hmm.
Travel years are really just your more expensive years. And you took some of the income and you front-loaded your retirement plan, and then the other dividend income kind of sustained you. You can do things like this. It all boils down to how do you want to live your life? Then, are there legacy intentions that are there? And if there's leftover money for legacy, then you can say, okay, well then, what do I need to know in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years? How would that pass? And how is that then going to go to stage 2? Does the plan work? Now that we've defined what the plan needs to do, does the plan work? This is financial planning. 1 + 1 is 2. Okay, we're not doing strategies yet. We're not looking at products yet. If You take out X amount of money each year and your portfolio averages, let's say 6% each year growth. These are
Okay.
oversimplified projections.
Sure.
Do you run out of money or do you not? Do you have a surplus? Does 1 + 1 = 2? Does the plan work out? And an easy, fun calculator we put out there, you can go to freeretirementplanner.com. That will redirect you to one of our calculators that you can use. It's publicly available. Anyone can use it. freeretirementplanner.com. Go there, check it out. And does 1 + 1 = 2? If the answer is yes, then you have to go to the next level, which is strategy.
Mm.
Because I tell you right now, your plan is not going to hit 6% every single year for the next 30 years. It's going to have some good years. It's going to have some bad years. Tax laws are going to change. So when people say, well, here's my plan, usually what it means is here's the products that I have purchased and here's how I'm going to make it work.
Oh.
Dividend investing. That's a product. That's not a strategy.
Oh. Yeah. Elaborate on that a little bit. A product versus a strategy.
A product is something that you subscribe to and you cannot change. So if you're a dividend investor during flat market times because it pays a reasonable dividend, the markets are kind of flat, and you're generating income. But when markets go up, you then put a part of your portfolio into the growth side and that's dynamic. That's strategy. Product is I'm going to do this and I'm not going to change it. Product is 60-40 portfolio and a rebalance every now and then. I'm not going to change it. Product is buy an annuity, turn on lifetime income, and I'm not going to change it. Product is static. Strategy is dynamic.
I like that.
And this is a fun difference too. People plan. They say they're strategic planners. That's ridiculous. Okay.
Who says that? Like the consumer or like
the consultants? I'm a whatever.
Yeah.
I'm a strategic planner. Those are two completely different outlooks. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's define it. What is a plan? It's what you want to accomplish. What is a strategy? How you go about accomplishing that plan. So a plan is you want to retire, and here are the numbers, here are the projections. The strategy is the interworkings and the dynamic adjustable parts of your plan. So some years you take income from maybe this source, some years you take income from that source. On this year, because of tax law, you're going to make these actions. That is the dynamic nature that is its job is to fulfill the plan. In other words, let's talk about chess. Love chess. I'm not good at chess. I just love the game.
Okay.
The plan is to move your pieces around to get who?
Checkmate,
The king.
queen or king, some
Yeah,
royalty
the
figure.
queen's the good one. The king's
Okay.
one you get rid of. The queen's the one that can move everywhere.
All
okay?
right. Yep.
The plan is just to get rid of the king. That's it. Knock the king over, checkmate, you win. The strategy is how you go about it. It's, I'm going to move over here. And I don't know, all of the different moves. Again, I enjoy the game. I'm not good at the game. But, are you going to go heavy with the rooks or the knights? Are you going to go heavy with bishops? Are you going to move? Are you going to do like a kind of a side thing? Any chess player is probably going, this guy's an idiot. Look, I enjoy the game.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm good at it. Tell me the king's gambit, the queen's gambit. I don't know what any of that means.
I know that one of those is a show on Netflix.
Yeah. But it's the queen's gambit is a strategy on how to, I believe, start. It's not how you finish. There's introductions, there are mid-game strategies, and there's end-game strategies. So even that, again, I don't know much about. But the idea is in retirement, I guess we could draw a narrative there. There are strategies for when you start your retirement. How are you going to draw income while protecting yourself against market risks and so on? Maybe for the first 10 years. Then you've got the second 10 years. How do you adjust that? Because you could die in 2 years or in 20 years. So there's a lot of things you got to consider there. And then the end of life, now you're really investing just for a few more years of your own income, plus the legacy components. Those are different strategies, and you've got to evolve. If you're a dividend investor, you might miss out on one of those different phases of retirements.
I see.
So a plan is 1 + 1 = 2. A strategy, the income and how you take income each year, the tax minimization and how you minimize your taxes each year. How do you coordinate your income and your tax planning with your health care? Those are all strategies. Does that make sense, the difference?
Mm-hmm.
How can you know what strategies you want to implement if you don't have a plan, which is a baseline or a direction. And how can you have a plan if you don't know what do you want? What does your lifestyle look like?
And so you get this plan, you have it recorded, and you can refer back to it throughout your retirement. And then if you need to change it, then
And you don't want to update it every year.
okay, yeah. What's a good frequency to update?
5 years.
Oh, yeah.
I think 5 years or so, unless there's a significant shift in policy or tax law or something, but
Or health.
or health, yeah. Those are lifestyle, not the markets. So if you run a plan that's, let's say, 6% year over year on the growth, okay, the first year it goes up 20%, just gangbuster year. Okay, don't rerun your plan with the assumed new growth. Say, great, now we're ahead of schedule. And then the next year, maybe it's like 5%. You're still ahead of schedule. The next year, it's like a 30% crash. Now you're behind schedule. So then maybe you want 1 or 2 more years. There's a recovery, and you're just trying to set a baseline and then dance around it.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the goal. And if the markets are up or down, you're going to implement different strategies.
And that's all baked into the plan ahead of time.
It should be.
These contingencies
Yeah.
in case there's a really bad market.
So going back to this, that's why we don't want to put the cart before the horse. The horse pulls the cart. The lifestyle goals is what drives the plan. The plan then gives you the constraints by which you can then implement strategies. And then those strategies will determine which investments or products you want to implement or purchase or use. So I do feel very strongly there's a very important sequence when it comes to putting a plan together, and that's how I consider it there. And you may end up that the dividend portfolio is perfect for you. You may not. And if this person has the workbook, if they don't, you can go to retireontime.com and buy the book, the workbook, the planning checklist, the AI prompts, and all these different resources. But you'll quickly realize there are other tools in the toolbox, and you might want a larger toolbox as you approach retirement and retire. Now, that's all the time we've got for today's episode. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe. Most importantly, subscribe on YouTube, where our best case studies and where we actually show you what's going on. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. If you want to work with us in one capacity or the other, whether it's joining a workshop of ours or working one-on-one, just go to retireontime.com and click the button that says Discover What's Possible to see your resources and work with a professional in putting your retirement plan together. But most of all, thank you for spending your time, your most precious asset, with us today. We'll see you in the next episode.